Good morning. Hope all of you are having a blessed day today. I want to thank everybody for the prayers that you've sent out to me with my injury. I am getting better. Still a little sore and hobbling along, but everything's going well. I want to remember Oak and Ricky Johnson this morning, as Oak is battling a definite uphill battle with her cancer, and we just pray for Ricky that the Lord just strengthen him through all that he's going through, caring for his loving wife. I also want to thank my wife, who's running the camera this morning, for our happy 34th anniversary today. And hope to bring you just a little word of encouragement as we're taking this from a little bit different tack, not being at the church. The 3rd century philosopher, mathematician, physicist Archimedes once said, "Give me a lever big enough and I can move the world." You know, there's a lot of things in our lives that we can't drop in the immediate when we really think about it. We have family concerns, a lot of us have jobs, a lot of us have commitments that are reality, and we can't drop those things. But yet we have to find a way to leverage them to lessen the burden in our life and the load. This morning I want to read some compelling words, some words that have brought comfort to millions of Christians over the past 2 millennia. It comes from the 11th chapter of Matthew's Gospel, in the 28th through the 30th verses. Jesus said, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest in your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Some of the loads we can't drop. Some of the loads we can't control. And that's the first thing that I think burdens us down, is worrying about things that we can't control. We can't control the successes that we have in life, for our children, for our family, for our finances. A lot of those things are out of our control. I remember years ago on a job where I was worried about something, and it was something totally out of my control, and a good friend of mine, a mentor, once said, he said, "Control the things that you can, and the things that you can't, let go." So that's what I'm telling you this morning, is that there's things in your life that are burdening you that you have no control over. That's the things you have to let go and trust God that He'll see you through all of this. There's times that we just simply have to rely upon Jesus for things that we can't control. And I know that's difficult in this society where we have a cure or a fix for everything, and yet we still want to maintain control, and our biggest fear is losing control. There's things and ways that we can leverage things in our lives that lessens the burden. You know, I was watching one of my favorite television shows the other day, and they were talking about suitcases. And I remember as a youth going through an airport, having to lug a large suitcase along, drag that thing literally. It was so heavy that my arms felt like they were going to fall off. And now every suitcase that you see has wheels on it. See, somebody figured out a way to lessen the load in that burden. One of the things that Paul writes in his letters is that we as Christians and as a church community should bear the burdens of others. Bear the burdens of others. Sure, we have our own burdens, but there's times when other people need that encouragement, that encouraging word, a prayer, a thought, a phone call, a text, whatever it may be. There's things that you can do as a church community and family to reach out to others, to help them bear their loads. And that's a two-way street. You see, sometimes I have burdens that I need help with, and it's difficult for me to ask. I feel like I'm supposed to be the strong one, the father, the pastor, the leader. And the leader never has trouble, right? Well, we do. And that's, again, I want to thank you for the prayers, because that meant so much to me, and all of the words of encouragement that you gave me. And then Jesus invites us to take the yoke, and we're not exactly sure what that yoke that he's talking about. A normal, typical yoke is a piece of wood that ties two animals together, and they work in unison and tandem, in pace with one another. And I think that what Jesus is saying is that we yoke up with him, that we connect with him, that because he is stronger, he is wiser, he can lead us and guide us and teach us in the ways of life, the way that we need to live. and the things that we need to do. Taking his yoke means that we don't carry the load by ourselves, that he's there beside all us. He's with us. He's leading and guiding us. Another thought of the yoke is that it's the burden of love. And Jesus commanded each one of us to love one another. To love one another. The early Christian church was known for the great love for each other. One Roman soldier wrote, he said, "Behold these Christians, how they love one another." Can that be said about us today? Love lightens the load, I know. When you feel that love and that compassion from a loved one or a friend or a family or a fellow brother and sister in Christ, you do feel that burden eased in your life. As I close out this morning, I found a poem. There was no author listed or reference to it, but it says, "Rest if you must, but don't quit." So I want to share this with you. When things go wrong, and they sometimes will, when the road you're traveling seems all uphill, when your funds are low and your debts are high, and you want to smile but you only have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is strange with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns, and many a failure turns about when he might have won if he'd only stuck it out. Don't give up, though the pace seems mighty slow. You may succeed with only yet another blow. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver lining of clouds of doubt. And you never can tell how close you are. It may be near and yet still seem so far. To stick out to the fight when you're the hardest hit is when things may seem the worst, that you must not ever quit. So pray for me this morning, and pray for our brothers and sisters that's in need as we go to the Lord in prayer. Gracious Father, I thank you again for this morning and this time that we've joined together to share some encouraging words from the Bible. And Father, we remember those that are sick and hurting, especially Rick and Oak Johnson. Father, we thank you for the healing that's going on with Ruby Shore. Father, with the healing that's going on with me, I feel your hand of guiding me on this recuperation period. Father, for those that are sick at our church, for those that are struggling, for those that are just laden with burdens in their life, Lord, let them place them before you today, that you may lead them and guide them in this journey of faith. Father, we ask all of this morning in your name. Amen.